Okay, just a moment. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to today's live session. All right, we're about to begin. Um, the trading week is starting. See, my eyes are so red. I've been up. I slept very late and woke up very early today. It's unlike me. Maybe I should be wearing glasses now so that you guys will not see my eyes. But let me know, please. Can you hear me so that we can start proper? Please let me know in the comment section if you can hear my voice loud and clear. All right. All right. So y'all saying yes. So that means we are good to go. Okay. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is our usual Tuesday live market analysis, where we analyze the chart. I show you guys some possible setups that I'm looking out for, and some of you know that I don't trade very often. What I mean often is that I don't trade very multiple times in a day. I usually like to wait for quality setups. In that case, I get 2, 3, 4 setups, 5 setups, as the case may be, in a week. And I'm pretty much cool and okay with that because at the end of the day, I get quality setups over quantity, and I trade SMC, Smart Money Concept, Advanced Liquidity. I try to keep it as simple as possible. The reason for this is so that we can, see how picking through my head when I'm going running my analysis. So it's not just about sending you signals; it's about learning how to do this yourself, basically. That's the goal, right? So the little I know, I share with you, and then I I do my analysis here, right, so that you can see how exactly I look at the chart when I'm doing my analysis. And at the end of the day, we'll also check out your setups because me, I don't look at so many setups at the same time. All right, but for today, while I was doing my analysis here, I realized that we messed up a bit because a lot of pairs have left us. Like a lot of opportunities that we would have taken have actually passed us, and that's so annoying. So we'll be looking for mostly re-entries on most of the setups I'll be showing you guys today, like some really clean setups that just made me feel bad because I mean we would have really capitalized on them using our strategy. However, one thing I know for sure is that the market will always give you more opportunities, right? If you miss on one opportunity, does not mean that more opportunities will not come. Right? Yesterday, I saw a student in my VIP group posted an analysis. He did not touch his entry, and hours later, he came back to say, "Wow, he's active now." So patience can actually pay off. Right? Patience in this business is number one thing. If you don't have patience, the market will ruin you. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now. We'll start. Basically, today I have a couple of pairs that I'm looking at, about four or so or five. Most of them have already played out, so I'm just going to look for like a re-entry and how to join them. So we're going to start with the dollar index. I just want to quickly give you guys something on the dollar index so that we have like a base because we're going to be looking out for more USD pairs today, more USD pairs. So we'll start with the dollar index. Basically, that makes sense. The dollar index is basically price indication for the strength of what dollar is doing at a particular time, right? So it is like we use it for opposite and comparative analysis. When I look at the dollar index, I'm just trying to understand what the USD is doing generally, so I can now add it to any USD pair I'm trading, whether it's USD XXX or XXX USD, right? So this is the dollar index now. Please let me know if you can see my screen. I'm currently sharing the USD, sorry, the DXY. My screen is down. How come now? Okay, okay. So if you can see, that's good. If you can see, that's good. All right. So I'm currently on the dollar index, and this is let's go to a higher time frame basically. So let's start from the weekly. Actually, let's start from the weekly, so we can just have a better picture of what we're seeing. Now, on the weekly time frame, we're not going to go too far. You can see practically what the chart is showing us here. We're not doing much here. So the market has ranged for quite a while on the weekly time frame from this area, and now we are pushing up, right? We've broken structure over here or pushing up, and then price just mitigated or reacted to this demand zone, which is a demand order block right here. And you can see three candle rejection on a weekly time frame, and then we are spilling up, right? You can see the market is actually moving up. So that is to say that the dollar index is going to be massively bullish going forward. And from the daily time frame as well, you can see after we had the weekly mitigation, we have what the daily mitigation again, another mitigation on this order block, right? Remember, we're not trading this, we're only using it for comparative analysis, right? To just compare. So it has mitigated this point and is still pushing up again. Two massive reactions. So from the weekly and the daily time frame, we are seeing very bullish reaction, right? And if we keep going down to lower time frames, you keep seeing more mitigations telling you that this market wants to keep pushing up. So if that is the case, since we're having bullish a bullish trend right now on the dollar index, what does that tell you? So we're going to be looking for more sales on GBP USD, more sales on Euro USD, and then the opposite for USD CAD and the rest of them, right? So USD CAD is going to be more of buy, USD JPY probably more of buy as well, but mostly USD CAD. That is the correlation we're looking at here. So that being said, that's all I'm going to use the dollar index for. After this, like there's literally nothing more to use it for. And trust me, I have done my analysis on USD JPY, Euro USD and GBP USD. It's not quite clean because I'm just looking for clean setups. Yes, I know the market wants to sell, but I'm looking for clean setups to use. So I'm not going to waste my time going through it again. However, if you want me to check it later, but let me just show you what I have first of all, right? So we're going to start with USD CAD. USD CAD. So this is it. So I'm sharing my screen now on USD CAD. Please let me know if we're together so I don't leave you guys behind. I'm currently on USD CAD now. Are we good? Can we proceed now? All right, so this is what we have on USD CAD. Now, very similar to what we're seeing on the dollar index, right? So we have this massive demand zone here that price have come to mitigate. Very strong one. You can see this demand zone on the weekly time frame has been respected more than once, twice here, and then we pushed up breaking structure. Now here we have an order block here on the weekly time frame that the market has not gotten to yet. So this is basically like a destination, right? The market could possibly even break this order block and drop some more, then continue going up. However, we're not really interested in all that. This is a weekly time frame. I mean, we're interested in the very one that we can give us the immediate opportunities, right? We're just using this as a projection. So I have what we call what I will call an induced liquidity or engineered liquidity here. You can see how price came close, did not mitigate this order block, and this order block kind of like swept liquidity before dropping. So it's a valid one. and definitely a weekly time frame, higher time frame order block. So this market must react to that position. So that being the case, we know that there is a reason for market to pull up to this point, number one. So number two, you can see that the market have dropped down to another demand zone and came into that area to react on a weekly time frame, and now it's rejecting three candle rejections, right? So yes, we have a bullish momentum from here and we have a destination, so we have a reason to massively buy. And you remember, on the dollar index, it's already correlating. The dollar index is on the verge of massively buying as well. So all these things are just giving us multiple confidence why we can be confident in taking buy positions, right? So now look at what is happening. So on the daily time frame, this is where we are. So this is the destination of where we're going to. If we can get a buy in here and hold it all the way down here, you're going to be in massive profits. But the problem is, the question is, will you have the capacity to hold to this point, right? The width, the grit and strength. Now, using our basic strategy here to join in, we have a break of structure here, confirming that we are going to continue in the bullish trend, and then the market came down. All of this is like a correction move on the daily time frame, dropping to the deepest point of retracement, right? That is around this zone here. And if you notice, the market kept cleaning out all the liquidity until it got to the deep retracement point, this last support area, and that is where we had that mitigation from. Still daily time frame, not much, so we're going to go down to the 4-hour time frame. And on the 4-hour time frame, you can see where we are now. So this is the last point of support, the last order block that you are seeing here, the last demand zone. And this was a demand area that the market used to engineer liquidity, right? By engineering liquidity, you can see here that this market dropped into this order block, pushed up, broke this structure, mitigated this point, and dropped massively. Now, the drop itself here tells us a story. Whenever there is a valid area of interest, another way you can confirm how valid that area of interest is the inducement drop, the way the market dropped into that zone with like a strong pedal candles, right? When the candles are strong, showing you that this market seems like it wants to, drop very, like it wants to change character, but then it's just going to induce it's just going to mitigate a particular area of interest. But the momentum the candle will carry will make you feel as if it's changing character or something. That's another way to know that, okay, this your area of interest is quite valid, right? And then when it gets to that area of interest, it pauses, then starts slowly reversing back up. That's exactly what is happening here. So we have had a full body mitigation right here on this area of interest. So now all we can do now is to wait for how to generate entries, because I mean, we've already missed out on the entry right here. Would have been a very sweet sniper entry. That's why earlier I told you guys that we've already like missed out in most of our entries. But what we can do now is to get re-entries, because we know where the market is heading to, right? We already have a destination on the much higher time frame, the daily time frame, which is this supply zone you're seeing here. So to walk our way all up to this place is a lot of pips, right? Considering the fact that we're trading currency pairs. See, all the way down here is almost 400 pips. 418 pips on a pair like USD CAD is crazy, right? But you cannot compare this with gold or silver. 400 pips is just like a small retracement move, but this is different. So the lot sizing is going to be different when you're trading. So now the question is, how do we get in on the buys, right? Everything is done, right? Now we just have to look for how to get in on the buy. So let's break it down to smaller time frames so you can see exactly what we're going to be using. Now the push has started, right? It's giving that wave. We're just going to allow the wave proceed, push ahead, and then we'll wait for the proper retracement to come into play. Now we're going to see price coming back into this this demand zone, this order block. And we have something interesting happening here. So we have an order block here that is just partially mitigated. So we still have an opportunity to use this order block. And you can see what is happening here, right? Very sweet inducement liquidity. Bam, here. And then we have this order block. So this already is giving me patience, right? Wait. Now, slowly, this market might be pushing all the way up, maybe and come up to this zone here. I don't care. But my own is, I want to see this market retrace, maybe touch this zone or whatever, and turn around. This is where the main game is going to start from. The moment this market turns around, comes back for this order block, right? This order block is still very much valid. We have an opportunity to trade from here. So we're going to be waiting for the market to drop down, because we have liquidity inducement here. We have an unmitigated body order block. So we're going to be waiting for a buy position from this area. right? Putting our SL here. Now, to make this very interesting, there are two ways you can approach the entries for this one. First of all, you might want to hold on in the tight entry, all right? Just below this order block, you're going to have like 14, 15 pips SL, right? It's not bad. 14, 15 pips SL, and then let's make it 15 pips. And then you have the opportunity to get your 1:3, 1:4, and the rest of that. However, if you want to swing this, right, because this is like a good swinging opportunity, I would say this: try and give your SL some breathing room, right? Why am I saying this? Because this is a very technical demand zone from the higher time frame. Let's go back to the 4 hour from the higher time frame. So sometimes what can the market can do very crazy here, it can drop down with another massive candle, sweep this low again, form something that looks like a double bottom with a wick sweeping this low before the move actually starts happening again. It has happened so many times. I've seen it before. So that's why I'm telling you that this place is a very dicey place. So two ways to get in is, number one is to wait for that. If you want to be like get a very small tight SL, you can get up to 15 pip SL there. Is okay. But trust me, if you want to swing this and hold it for a long time, give it that 20, 25 pip SL. It's still not bad, because if you're comparing the risk to reward, it's still going to be very massive, because your risk to reward, first of all, you can take profit around here. You're already on a 1:4 here, right? And if you want to swing, like I said, because we're going to be moving from positions to position, this is another area that the market will react to. Already here is a 1:6, which you can still get out from. If you are still swinging all the way, we can still get like something around here, a 1:10. However, this is the destination, right? And if you're holding all the way up there, you're holding like a 1:16. But then this is currency. This is not like metals, right? So this is a currency market, and it probably take time, a week or two, before market get to that particular position. So you may not have that strength to hold. So just get in and get out with your comfortable risk to rewards, right? So I'm going to just leave the entry around here. Let's go down to the 1 hour time frame where we're seeing our positioning properly. So let's not take it too far. Let's leave it here first. Yeah. So from here we're getting the 1:2. Bringing your SL just around here, just a little bit below it, just in case it wants to sweep before moving. So it's a pretty good 1:5 risk to reward around here. So I'm going to put my entry. Let me drop the coordinates here. For USD CAD buy limit entry, buy limit at 1.3609 SL. So you can just mark this on your own chart and follow it up yourself. That's the whole idea. SL is 1.35912. All right. So for the TP and the rest, I'm just going to leave it to work your way around it. You can get your first TP around this point, which is definitely market is going to react there. If it doesn't react before dropping down, this should be your first TP point, which is, let me just put it as TP1. Then you can sort out your TP2. Let's say TP1. You can sort out your TP2. Your TP1 should be 1.3660. 1.3660. Yeah. So this should be a very good one that I'll be personally following up on USD CAD. So I'm done with USD CAD. All right, on to the next one. USD JPY. Yep. So this is USD JPY. Now, like I said, guys, we have been left out on most of the setups. Damn it. All right. So we've been left out on most of the setups. However, we hope for a re-entry. But with this price action I'm seeing, market may not come back to that place, but only time can tell. You just have to still wait. Just have to still wait. So this is what I'm seeing on the USDJPY. Now let's go to the higher time frame. So let's understand the whole setup and what's happening. From the weekly time frame, I think I did this analysis in our last live class, and market has still been around here. Weekly, you can see that it has been ranging in this zone, in this weekly area for a long time. And ultimately, I always say that our range, whenever we have a range from a resistant area, we'll be expecting a massive drop before the market continues. So I'm still expecting that sell. However, I'm still seeing rejections from the bottom level, which is another sign that to tell you market is supposed to buy you. But let's see how it works out. So following the price action now, daily time frame, you can see the range on daily time frame. It's been ranging here, forming like a pennant, right? What looks like a pennant. If I draw this now, everything will come out. What looks like a pennant originally. You see? What looks like a pennant for chart pattern traders. Let me remove it a bit. Then let's just look at what we're saying basically. So let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame now. So from the 4-hour time frame, you see the range is even clearer here. You can see how it's just going sideways, right? However, most times before you have the drop happens, right? Market will try to clean or sweep all the liquidity, the buy side liquidity and the sell side liquidity before the drop. So in this case, now we're seeing the market clean all the sell side liquidity, all the ones above here. Market should drop, clean it, then give us that drop back into structure, something like this, right? When we have something like this, it has ranged for a while. We want to see that sharp push to the upside, then it dropping back into structure. That's when we have that clean sweep, then we can comfortably start selling. But I've not seen that yet, so I'm still hoping that that might surface over time. But since that has not happened, we are still very much inside the range. Now, when market is ranging here, price action is usually order block is usually very sweet. Market respects those order blocks bit and bit when the market is actually ranging, and that's what we're seeing right now. So currently, we have this order block that has not been mitigated yet. This one right here. So this is another destination for price to get to. Now, internally, let's go to the 2-hour time frame. So remember, we still have something here or an order block that's not been mitigated. That's why I'm seeing this place as a destination for price to come sweep before dropping again. So that being said, I come down to my 2-hour time frame. So this is what the market is reacting to currently. This 2-hour order block, H2 order block. So, but you can see it's reacting from the open, right? Which on a smaller time frame looks like a breaker block setup. So this is where the market is reacting to, and it's pushing very, very crazy. Now, this is a very sweet setup. This is why I said we missed out on a lot of potential setups. You can see your liquidity here, very easy. These are A plus easy setups. Your order block here, and the market just came, tapped into it, and it's moving. But we cannot cry over spilled milk. This is gone already. So how do we participate in it again? That's the most important thing, right? I was hoping that this market will still come back, but it just kept pushing up. Because if you go down to a lower time frame, yeah, this is what we're going to be seeing. We have not fully mitigated this order block. The 1-hour order block is still very much clean and unmitigated here. So this is another probable point, because at this point now, this area can now serve as liquidity for this guy to hold, right? So there's every possibility that this market is going to react here and still drop, right? React here where it is right now and drop. So this is more like a non-high, or should I say in a low probability setup for this sell, but it is a setup, guys. So if you're interested in taking this, personally, I'm not so interested in taking this, but this is a low probability setup. But I'm seeing it as a setup that's going to push price to come for this mitigation right here. It's a low probable setup, but it could still definitely hold for price to come for this particular order block. So yeah, this is where I want to buy from for this one, and market is currently selling from here. So it's something that if you're interested in, you want to take a live trade right now, you can join in on that sell. Like I said, it's a low probable setup, and if you're going in, you can half your risk to go in for this particular setup. But I'm more comfortable with what this buy here, right, than even this sell. So you see market is already reacting to it, and it's going to be something worth taking, but with a low probability. right? We're still ranging. We're still very much ranging. So the market keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. I remember we have another zone right here that the market will probably come back to for a nice touch, right? A nice touch. So let me see if I can just jump in on this one. But with a low probability setup, with a low lot size and all, just to start up the week with something. All right. So we've done USD CAD, we've done USD JPY, and I have something else on BTC happening live, something else on BTC as well that we're going to be looking at. Just a moment. All right. So let's get to BTC now. Yeah, Dylan, I'm sure you've missed that. You missed out on that one as well, Abby. You trade USD JPY a lot. It is what it is. Well, always that's the sweet thing about trading. Yeah, some kind of setups will really hurt you because you'll be like, this aligns with everything I'm looking for, and then I missed out on it. Well, the market is still fresh. We're just in Tuesday. We still have US session coming up. We have tomorrow. We have the day after, and so we'll just wait. We'll just wait. All right. So we have something on BTC. So this is it. Let me explain this. So BTC, let's go from the weekly again. We're clearly pushing up. We're very bullish. I've been singing this for the longest since we've been on BTC, trying to keep on looking for buys and buys and buys, heading to this particular zone right here. So on the daily time frame, you can see that we're just creating series of higher highs and higher lows, breaking structures and going further. So this interestingly starts from what the daily time frame, where you can see the setup really clear, right? So you can see the structure, very nice looking price actions, right? So the market keeps breaking structure. So this is the latest break of structure that we have on the daily. And you can see this order block that the market created before moving, which is going to serve as our next stepping stone to push price to keep going forward. So if we drop this down to the daily time frame, so sorry, the 4 hour, so this is where the 4 hour order block is, the zone, the buy zone, and all of that. And now what is happening here? The market is engineering liquidity, reacting to this breaker block right here, reacting to this breaker block. That's where the market is reacting to. And yes, so for me now, it's reacting to this breaker block, but it's engineering liquidity for me for the buys. Remember, we are still very much bullish. We did a double top here, and then we have this order block zone here. So most possibly, right, this market could even push up to this point, use this order block for a drop, for something like this, right? For something like this, before we drop into this zone to buy, right? So I'm still watching. So let's just go down to the 2 hour time frame. So from the 2 hour time frame, you see this is where the market is reacting to this small order block here, which I also showed you guys like a breaker block on the higher time frame, right? So yeah, and we still have this zone. So this zone is still powerful. Let me just adjust this properly. So this is the last buy before the sale happened. So yeah, and then we have liquidity just below it, right here. We have liquidity just below it. So yeah, that's from the 2 hour time frame. And then coming down to the 2 hour again, you can see that we can now streamline this order block to this point very nicely. So we have a clean two setup. So it's either we're taking a sell from here or we're taking the main buy from this particular zone right here. If you drop it down to the 1 hour, the 1 hour is still clean on the buy, right? You can see the order block here, very much situated, nicely put. So this is engineering a double bottom here, liquidity for me basically. So that's what I'm going to be using this as, and then I'll wait for price to drop down into this zone for my buy. sorry, not sell, for a long position from here. So this is one of the favorite pairs that I'm waiting for right now, the favorite setups that I'm waiting for right now. If we have a mitigation here before the market drops, that means that we are going to even be breaking structure and moving above, right, to continue our buy setups. So this is my bias on BTC USD. So I'm waiting for a clean buy just around this zone, and it should price shoot up. But for lower time frame traders, if you are those kind of people that you can are comfortable trading lower time frame, you can see what the market is doing here. It has given a double bottom. If you come to 15 minutes, I think something is happening here. 15 or 5 minutes. Okay, I'm not seeing it clearly though, but okay, not what I expected, but it's reacting, it's pushing up. I'm really not interested in any of this. I will only use smaller time frame like this when the market is in my zone. This is not the zone I want to take this trade from. This is the zone I want to wait for it to. So when it gets here, that's when I can basically or comfortably use a smaller time frame to trade it with. But other than that, no, I'm going to be waiting for price to get into that same buy demand zone. Yeah, so BTC is pretty interesting. Mark that also on your chart and wait for the market to react. Don't just be watching my screen and just be waiting for me to say buy and sell here. Like, you can mark it, do the same markup on your own, then you can go back and check whether it aligns with what you're looking at or makes any sense to you. I'm not necessarily saying you must take my setup, right? But at least just use it to compare and know if you're actually looking at probably the same thing with what I'm looking at. But that's my take on it, and that's what I'm going to be doing, right, when the market gets to that point. So that's that for BTC. So the USD JPY, I'm already on it. I told you guys not much. I don't know if any of you followed me and joined it. Let me see. It's still dropping, but a bit of it. Took this one. So I'm still on it, the USD JPY. Let's just see how it goes. And this is the kind of pair that this kind of setup that you just want to break even fast, but let it move out a bit before we can think of breaking even. It's still, London session is still gearing in properly. Okay, so next off is GBP JPY. Like I said, guys, today we have missed out a lot. We just missed out so much. Now, this is another very sweet setup. I don't even want to, this one pained me so bad because it was set up that I marked it out, but I did not even put a pending order. I just left it only for me to come and see this happening, right? I did not put a pending order. So this is what we have on GBP JPY. If you go on the higher time frame, let's start from the daily. It's been bullish. It's been very, very bullish. But it looks like something that is ranging here. So even when I'm taking the buys now, I'm still being careful. Maybe that's why I did not put a pending order. I just wanted to watch, and now it's moving and so annoying. But you can see from the higher time frame, it's all in a resistant area, looking like something that is sweeping liquidity about to drop. So we might still have that drop because GBP JPY, if you understand the behavioral pattern of this pair, right, before it makes a big move, it always likes to consolidate for a long time. Let me show you. Like here now, look at this buy move, right? You see the kind of consolidation this market did here before finally pushing out. Even at this zone, it's massive consolidation before dropping. Even here, consolidation before moving up. Now it's consolidating again on a resistance level. So most times, but if you have been observing GBP JPY, it does this a lot. It will consolidate in an area of interest, then finally push out. Sometimes it may not even give you the clear entry before it pushes out. But if you understand this, you can easily catch setups from the higher time frames. So that's why I'm still waiting for that massive sell to happen, right? But inside this consolidation is where I said when you have markets ranging, structures are usually followed very, very precisely. So that's why you see this setup was very, very crazy for me. So you can see here inside this whole range, right? I think our last live class on Tuesday, I gave you guys this. I gave you guys this entry. I said we're going to use this first, but most importantly, we're waiting for this deeper entry, right? And market came right into it, sniped it, gave us a nice big push. I made some money from this before exiting the trade because it started going up, and I remember that we're still in a consolidation. That's why I just exited the trade and left it. I haven't been able to catch any setup right from all these points. So the next one I was really hoping for was this one. So after this, what happened here was that we broke structure here. You can see a clean break of structure to the upside, and this was the origin of the break of structure. This right here, this low was the origin, right? And this market actually gave us something that looked like a sweep of candle, right? Then pushed up. If you notice here, there was already a mitigation on this order block. However, on the lower time frames, we have smaller area of interest that was not mitigated. Now, what usually happens is whenever you have this is now listen to this, please. Whenever you see order block here, partial mitigation, right? You see another order block here, partial mitigation. Now, what happens is that as the market changes its course, right, to start dropping, it will be sweeping out all this because some people will be trying to buy from this order block, trying to buy from this order block. What happens is that it uses all these order blocks as liquidity, right? Then drops for the lowest point of interest. That is this particular place. So if you come to the 30-minute, that's when you see it clearly, right? See the lowest point here on 30 minutes. On 15 minutes, it still makes a lot of sense here, right, on 15-minute time frame. So this is where we have it. Market dropped down here, did not mitigate this point and moved away. Ever since when it came back here, it started reacting. That this was the sniper entry, trapped right into it and then move. This is the reason why you must always give room for small space for breathing room for your SL. So even if you just put your SL just below it, you would have gotten a good move. So now what's the next move? Is it to wait for price to come back here? I'm not so comfortable with this buy anymore. If I did not get on this buy, because this market is ranging, I prefer to wait for clear entries, clear entries before you can actually take an entry. So for this GBP JPY, there's really nothing. It has gone. I'm not going to wait for any re-entry at that point. I'm just going to let it go like that. So that's that on BTC, on GBP JPY. So lastly, I'm going to look at XAU USD. Now the same thing is happening. XAU USD. From our last class, our last live session, I also made the same comment telling you guys that we are selling massively, so we'll just be looking for sales. In fact, I was in one sell position that I wanted to hold for so long, but my mind no reach. I'm not even gonna lie, I could not. The profit was looking good, and I was like, what if all this thing just goes back? Like, nah, I just close it. I said, let me rest. I will look for another position to enter, but I haven't been able to get one yet. So let me clean this up here. So for BTC, this is what sorry, for gold, right? This is what I'm looking at. If you come to the weekly time frame, you will see the structure clearly. So now from the weekly time frame, see, gold is going to sell some more. All right. So we after this massive drop, I've explained this already in our previous live. We've explained, see, after this massive drop, this market started going up bit by bit. Now you see these three candles rejecting 1, 2, 3 rejections. That's to show you here that the sellers are possibly trying to gain back control. The buyers are unable to keep pushing this market up. And then the confirmation came when this sell candle now appeared, right? Then this week now we'll have a new sell candle dropping in hot, guns blazing. Now, if you come to the daily time frame, the same thing is happening, right? So on the daily time frame, it's even easier to locate because now you can see that this market is ranging on this area, giving a lot of wicks as well. And then we have this order block here on the daily time frame that has not been mitigated. This order block that the market broke out from after this small range, right? So this order block is now serving as a destination for me. So, and remember, I did this analysis first when the market was somewhere around here. So the idea is that we can sell all the way down to this destination. Maybe price will push up from here, giving us a new high again. However, this whole correction phase can be massively, taken advantage of because this is gold, for crying out loud. Any small move on gold is very massive, right? So if you drop down to the 4-hour time frame, this is where we have it. And let me remove this marking so you can see clearly. So this is the major area on the daily time frame, right? So if we're dropping all the way down here, It doesn't matter how big it is. That means we have where I even took myself from. This is over 2,700 pips. That's a lot of pips to, to capitalize on. So drop down to the 4 hour. You can see that we still have a lot of space for the market to come and fill up to. So basically, we are massively selling. We're on a downtrend. And if we go down to smaller time frames again, you can see how the market keeps breaking structure, down, down, down. So what move on gold now? This was where I took down my entry, right? So I took out my profit from this point, somewhere around here. The idea was to hold all the way down here, but I mean, you see the reason why I could not hold, right? You see how this market kept going back up, coming down. It was like making a lot of mess here. So to remove, let me remove this one because I did not take that trade. So this one now, you can see what's the continuous break of structure to the downside. So let's see how we can, participate in this next move. So right now, this is my latest break of structure to the downside. My latest break of structure to the market is reacting to. You see this zone that I drew here? I don't even know why I drew this earlier, but maybe there's something there. There's 1, 2, 3 mitigation. So we might most probably, take this out. Maybe as market is reacting to this now, this might be the catalyst to push price up. So this is 2 hours. Let's go down to the 1 hour time frame. So it still makes sense. 1 hour, we are continually breaking structure to the downside from this point, right? So this is my latest break of structure. Then this is the high. This is the high that caused this whole move, right? So from this point, I have a zone right here, a supply zone here, and we have an order block here. Let me see what this order blocks looks like on a smaller time frame. We have order block here. So we have reason for price to push all the way up. So let's go down to 45 minutes and see. Yeah, so this order block is still very nicely situated here. And this is at this point. So let me still see 30 minutes. Okay, so we still broke out from this zone. This structure looks good. So we're trying to get in on the sell, right? Continuation. This buy can push this market all to this zone and also to this zone. But to be a lot more safer, I think I'll prefer taking my sell from this higher zone to be a lot more safer from this higher zone. So let me see the 15-minute, what it looks like. Yeah. Okay, so we have another order block here. All these ones here, they are very good, but trust me, I don't think I would be comfortable taking my trades from these ones here, even if they have a little bit of liquidity. We still have FVG right here, fair value gap here, and there's liquidity just above this one as well. So yeah, I think, right, we might have a lot of buy positions to push price all the way up here. So these are points that the market will react to. It can continue going down from here, no problem. It can continue going down from here, no problem. But I think I'll prefer to take this from the origin of this impulsive move, from this supply zone. It doesn't have very strong order block that we can use and all of that, but this is gold. So I'm trying to be very practical and careful with gold because I'm not trying to, go in and out real fast. So I'm going to prefer to wait for price to drop into this zone. Meanwhile, you can be getting positions for buy and sell as you wish from all the way around this particular zone, because gold is, even people trading gold on a smaller time frame, you still make good moves, right? You can see here that market just swept liquidity, swept this low, right? And then it's pushing back into structure. So smaller time frame trader, this is another buy opportunity to join in on this buy. You can even drop down to as low as 1 minute time frame to see the structure properly. Yes, there's a break of structure here. That's like a change of character. It's dropping. That is if you want to do scalping, and not necessarily scalping, because from here, if you put your SL here, let me show you something. You have about 77 pips. If you put it just below here, it's about 99. That's 100 pip, and taking it all the way to this high is about 240 pips. So it's still a very good setup, but I prefer to wait for higher time frame, especially 1 hour, 30 minutes. That's where I'm more comfortable taking my trades from. Right, so that's it on gold. I wait for price to come to this zone, and then I sell from there. Woo. All right, so that's pretty much my setups for the day. We have like 15 minutes before the class ends, so Let me know what pair you want me to just quickly check before we end the class. Which pair would you want me to quickly check for you before we end the class? Let me know, let me know, let me know. All right, let's do AUD USD quickly. AUD USD. Hold on. AUD USD. Okay, so this is AUD USD. Well, all right. Now let me see. Let me first hide all of this. Start from the weekly. Euro USD, GBP USD are all buying as dollar index is. Sorry, the dollar index is buying, so those guys are selling. So AUD USD too has a potential of selling, right? From the dollar index analysis we did. So let's drop that, and you can see the weekly time frame. We're broken structure. We're on the resistance level, so there's a possibility of what massive sales happening. So AUD USD from the daily time frame, this is what we have. Okay, we are still ranging in this zone, but it still looks bullish. But we're ranging, and then the 4 hour time frame. Okay, now we had this sweep. We had this sweep right here. Okay, we had this sweep, and then market, push all the way back up. So let's see. Maybe this would have been what to push market to sell. Let's see on the 1 hour time frame. Okay. All right. So this market has tapped into this zone, but we still have this zone to be mitigated yet. So I think this is where we're probably going to be looking for our sales from. You can see that the market has dropped from this point and is still pushing up, right? Giving you this kind of tweezer candlestick pattern here, a tweezer candlestick pattern, and it's pushing up. So I'm seeing, like, from the higher time frame, we're already seeing that we want the market to drop. The market needs to sell, right? And the dollar index is buying, so we need to still sell here, right? Except AUDs extremely strong, right, to keep pushing it up. But if the dollar index is going to overpower it, that means we're going to have more sales. So let me see this from. Let me open this on forex.com so that I would eliminate that gap, because there's something I'm seeing there on that gap. Yeah. So if we're removing that gap now, you see this is going to be a good buy position for AUD USD, a good buy position, because we want to push our buys all the way to this zone right here. Firstly, this is the zone we saw from the other chart, right? So now we have this, the origin of this whole push. We have internal breaker structures. We have a breaker block that have still not been mitigated right here. There's a breaker block here. So yeah, we're looking for these buys to come down and push price all the way up. So it's already rejecting, as you can see. The reason why I'm using forex.com now is because forex.com will remove that gaps that the market is showing, and to give you a clearer picture of what you can see, right, of what the chart is doing. So this is the point where we're waiting for this buy to happen. I'm not looking at the breaker block because we still have a very nice fair value gap in here. I'm just going to give it a little room to breathe. This is like 10 pips. If you want to give it like a 15, 16 pips, somewhere around here, give it some room to breathe. And then you have your TP all the way into this zone right here. So right now, you're going to wait for price to drop. It's already engineering more and more liquidity for you. But trust me, I think we're going to still have more liquidity engineered, because when the market gets to this breaker block, it is still going to react push up. So that's where you have your clearer engineered liquidity and wait for market to drop into this buy zone for you. So yeah, it makes a lot more sense. So you can, to be a lot safer, like a safer place to put your SL, and then you wait for price to push up all the way into this zone. So it's already dropping. So just wait for that buy to come in on this zone, and then you get in for AED US. This is a pretty clean setup. So I think I'll also be looking at this one as well and see how that goes. Yeah, so that's it for AED US. We've done BTC already. We've done BTC already. In case you missed it out, just this is the setup. This is the outlook for BTC. In case you missed it out, this is the outlook for BTC. We're waiting for buy from this zone here, from this demand zone. Waiting for buy from here. So that's pretty much it. I guess we are done for today. I guess we're done for today. So our job is to make sure that we have all these setups on our systems, on our phones, have them, mark them up, and wait for them to play out. Right? You can still carry on your own other setup, but you can just follow up on this one and see how they play out. All right. So that being said, we're gonna end the live here. I hope you got something from this class. Make sure you just do your own personal follow-up and do some more research, right? Enjoy and have a very beautiful, beautiful trading day. All right, guys. Bye. Okay, I said I was going to do one more giveaway on this prop firm that we are currently checking out. I want you guys to also check out that prop firm with me. So I bought a couple of two accounts yesterday. I think I bought more than two, but I did two for my VIP communities yesterday. So I said we might be doing one more here. So I don't know. Now we're here. Who am I going to give this account to? So people are already leaving. Okay, so the more people leave, the better for us, Abby. We just have like a few more minutes to be on here. So I'm gonna give somebody from here. So I think I need to give the person a tax to do. I'm gonna give a tax to do so that whoever achieves that task. So, okay. Ah, God, now, wow. How do we do this now? First person that joined the live, right? Okay, yesterday we did first person, first person. So who was the first person that joined the live? How do I even know the first person that joined the live? Or should we go to the first person that made a comment on the live? Okay, so if it's the first person that made a comment on the live, it's going to be Just Gentle. Just Gentle. Yeah, so I guess you're the first person that joined the live today. So I think we're just gonna do it that way. So, Mr. Just Gentle, are you my student? Please let me know so that I know if you can access me. Mr. Just Gentle, calm down. I have seen you. I've seen it. Okay, you're okay. The yes sir, is it that if you're my student, so send me a DM from our WhatsApp. Just send me a DM and then we'll sort it out from there. All right. So congratulations to you. Thank you guys. Let's see how it goes. Probably I might still do more as the spirit leads, like I said, as the spirit leads. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Have a blessed day.